Have you been given a project and you don't know where to start? Or maybe you are doing a personal project and you don't even know what to analyze, you don't know what to look out for, you don't know where to begin. If this is what you would like to know, then this video is for you. So when working on a project, the first thing you need to look out for is data quality. How do you ensure that your data quality is correct? It's by performing data cleaning and transformation. So when you're working on a project, when you're given a project to do, the first thing you should do is data cleaning. If your data is not clean, if your data have inconsistencies, it's going to reduce the quality of your data and it's going to give you a wrong result. And your company or your organization or anyone at all making use of that analysis is going to make a decision based on a wrong result. So this is very important. Now, when you are performing data cleaning, what exactly should you be looking out for? What exactly should you be focusing on? What exactly should you be looking out for to clean? The first thing is completeness. You have to check if there's any missing values. Check if your table has a missing value, like a missing cell or a missing row, and deal with them. Okay? Deal with missing cell, deal with missing rows. That is one thing that you need to look out for. Another thing you need to look out for is duplicate. Check if your table has a duplicate. Is there a duplicate? You can use Excel or Power BI, any tool you are using to check out for duplicates and remove them. And also the next thing to check out for is the data format, the data type of the columns. That's basically data validation. You have to make sure that the columns have the appropriate data type that they need. So cross check all the columns, make sure that they are in their correct data type. If they are not in the correct data type, then you can change it to the correct data type. Now, for example, let's say you're working with the sales data, and then your sales data in the other quantity, right, has a duplicate of 5, and then you didn't remove it, and you end up adding it up together. They are going to give a wrong total order quantity. So that's an example of why it is important to check out these things. So the first thing you should do immediately you start working on a project is to make sure that your data is correct, to make sure your data is accurate by cleaning it and transforming it. Next thing to do, that's number 2. Number 2 thing to do is data exploration or exploratory data analysis. This is where you start to understand your data, identifying patterns, spotting anomalies, and performing initial hypotheses. So use visuals, use charts to explore your data, to understand the patterns of your data, to understand the message that the data is trying to pass, to understand the pattern in your data, to understand what happened in your data, to understand what might have caused it to happen in your data. So you can create things like histogram, right? Let's say you're analyzing a customer behavior data set. You can create a histogram to understand the behavior of the different customers, right? Just for you to understand what the data sets are working with. When you understand it, it will help you know the better way to analyze it. It will help you know how to deal with that data. So understanding your data is very important. So exploratory data analysis is just basically understanding your data, understanding the patterns, right? Before you can go ahead with your analysis. So guys, after you're done cleaning it, understand your data, understand the kind of data you're working with. Then after that, the next thing is selecting the right metrics. So after you are done understanding your data, the next thing is select the right metrics. Not all columns matter, not all the information in that table matters. What you need to select is what is needed in your organization goal. So based on your objective, you now know what to work with. Based on your objective, you now know the column you need and the information you don't need. For instance, if it's an e-commerce data, key metrics might include conversion rate, that's the percentage of visitors who make a purchase. Then it can also include average order value, which helps determine revenue per purchase. Then customer lifetime value, that's the total revenue expected from a customer over time. So these are a metrics for e-commerce data. So based on the data you're working with, you need to understand the metrics. That's what is important. The metrics, what you need, the important thing you need in that data. So let's say you are working on a sales data. You have to only focus on the metrics that has to do with sales. Country might not be needed. State might not be needed. Right? They are not the key metrics for sales data. Like quantity ordered, total revenue, and so on is one of the metrics for a sales data. So you need to understand the metrics of the tables you are using or the data set that you are working with, and then focus on them. Next thing you need to do is context, storytelling, and communication. The next thing you need to do is storytelling and communication. So data analysis is not just about creating beautiful dashboard or interactive dashboard. It's also being able to communicate your findings. A complex data, being able to communicate your findings. And when you don't understand the context of your data or the context of the analysis, you won't be able to communicate well, and that will not lead to an actionable step. That means your analysis won't be used to make decisions when you are not able to communicate your findings well. And to communicate your findings, you need to understand the context of your analysis. So, for example, ask yourself, what story does this data tell? Integrate visual with a clear narrative to highlight why numbers matters. For example, if your analysis shows a dip in product sales, explore potential reasons why it happened. It can be seasonality, competitor, or supply chain issues, and then propose actionable recommendations. Practical example, suppose you notice a drop in sales for a particular product line. Instead of just reporting the decline, you could build a dashboard that overlays sales data with external factors like seasonal trends and competitors' promotions. Then recommend targeted marketing campaigns or inventory adjustment based on your analysis. So guys, that's it. So wrapping it up, here are what we discussed. The first thing is start with clean your data. Then conduct thorough EDA, exploratory data analysis. Select the right metrics. That's focus on the metric that align with business objectives. Then tell a story. Transform your analysis into actionable business insights. As a data analyst, our role is critical in turning raw numbers into strategies that drive business decisions. By following these steps, you will not only enhance your analytical skills, but also empower your company to make data-driven decisions. I mean, you won't want to finish your analysis and there is no steps there's no actionable insight that can be gotten from your analysis. If you find this tip helpful, click on the subscribe button to subscribe and like this video and comment on this video so that you'll be notified when I make a new video. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time. Bye.